Well, what are some of your earliest memories? You know, what year were you born? What are your kind of earliest memories? Maybe stories that your parents told you about the early
I could
days?
say, we didn't work the farms, but
Yeah.
my younger brother and I were pretty young kids, really.
Yeah.
Our job was to take them snacks or water wherever they were working.
Oh, really?
Mid-morning, yeah, or mid-afternoon. And what they would do is I do remember this. It was to be still dark, and my mom and my dad, my brothers would be up, quick breakfast and out to the fields.
Uh-huh.
So probably like 4 o'clock in the morning, they would be out working. They'd come in and eat second breakfast along about maybe mid-morning.
Really?
And then go back out and work until the heat of the day, and then come back and start the next morning, so, because I remember that in the evenings, that would be the time that my dad would spend, like fixing our shoes,
Yeah.
doing chores around the house, that kind of thing. It was just a busy kind of family thing.
Made for a long day.
It really was, and then no sooner get dark and everybody was in bed, early to bed, because, the morning would come around very, very soon.
Yeah.
I know wash days, because we didn't have washing machines. Before they went out in the fields, my brothers would help bring in water and heat it on the stove for my mom's wash day.
Wow.
And I definitely had to help with that.
Uh-huh.
We're talking washboard stuff.
Really?
It was a hard life. The house that I remember had a kitchen and 2 other rooms, and of course we used them both as bedrooms, just simply because there were, we had my brothers and myself, my mom and my dad, and then later on the baby. And the kitchen was like living room, dining room, kitchen. It was just, all around homeroom.
Yeah.
Laundry room, the whole bit. And of course, outhouses. And probably that was the most difficult, because there, no indoor plumbing, whatever.
Wow.
In this house that I remember, there was a little pump in the kitchen, but we didn't use it a whole lot, and I think what it was the well was not deep enough where they didn't want to run it dry. They wanted to maintain it for just home use, like cooking, drinking, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So when we washed clothes, it still meant hauling it in from the ditches, or an outside pump if there was water in that well.
Really?
Yeah.
And you said the boys would be the ones to haul it in and start heating it up?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were very protective. Both of my older brothers were very protective that I should not have to be working outdoors and doing that kind of labor. But I had plenty of labor to do in the house. So.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. My mother and my grandmother, the whole family there, I don't remember much about my dad's family, but being from that era, probably the same thing, were very adamant that beds were made every day and the house was swept every day, and it was ready for company, whether company came or not. So we all learned to do that, those kinds of things at a very early time in life. And being the only girl in the family, I did a lot of housework and a lot of training for cooking and whatever.